Oh, and it did. It did. It went live the first time. I think that is the quickest we can do an intro. Alright, welcome back. Another day, another body on the bench. Oh, sorry, Sony's in the way. We'll just go to the Sony. Welcome back, my friends. Alright, this is a computer. I swear, when we ordered the part for this, there was an option for shipping to Czech slow boat. Because it what's the date? Let me look at the date. Today. It genuinely was 4 days shy of a month from when we ordered. This doesn't look too bad. What's wrong with it? Soda had been spilt in the keyboard and some keys had already stopped working. Although they were not tacky, they had quit working. So we need to just install a keyboard and then we're going to get that Optiplex going from yesterday. In the meantime, let's take a look at what we have to do here. Did you think the trusty black mats were not a thing? They are. Alright, so we have to do some moving of parts. And that just good. Wow. So that's all that sticker does, is goes there. They have a slightly different one on this. And we are missing. Wow. Oh no, okay, it's attached to the trackpad. My mistake. Alright, well, let's get to it. We'll start flipping these parts over. One, let's pull our trackpad out. This is in, oh geez, this is the model number. I would never remember. What is it? An Asus X751L? Asus X751L Notebook PC. Don't really need to cover how to open it up, do I? I'll try and brighten our image a little. Take all the screws out of the bottom. When you open it, be careful, as you have this ribbon cable that is connected. And the power, where's the power switch? Is the power switch not on this one? Generally with the models that, with the models that looked close to this, the power switch used to be located, and it still is here, but they actually, instead of mounting the switch on the underside of the top case, it's now mounted in the laptop. So you would have to watch out for the keyboard ribbon cable, the one for the trackpad, and the power switch. But you only have 2 to watch out for now versus 3. We're going to go ahead and clean this out as well. Like I said, this is one that soda had been spilt on internally. We'll take one quick look back here. All the soda stayed in the keyboard. You can see, well, let's kill the light and see. That kind of lets you see. You can see the different colored, the brown staining. Let's see if we can show it a little. You can see where it stayed in. A lot didn't get in. They did flip it over immediately and try and dump most of it out. However, it did do some damage to the keyboard. Just, it didn't go in the laptop, luckily. Very lucky on that note. So let's retrieve our trackpad and mount it in the new assembly. Even so, if you do spill a drink, or spill whatever, coffee, soda, tea, water, anything on, oh, they do have it taped down. Okay, let's get the tape. If you do spill anything on your keyboard, just because it stays working, I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to continue working. There is the possibility that it will quit working at some point in the future. Corrosion is an ongoing process. It's not an instant process. It happens over time. And another thing that can help accelerate that corrosion is having electricity running through something. That when there's an electrical current, that corrosive process can happen faster. We're not going to really dive too much into that. There's some good examples of that out there. One person, check out Lewis Rossman on YouTube. He does exclusively MacBook Air, MacBook Pro related repairs, and has shown some other stuff, but he goes into showing what happens when you have liquid on a logic board, whether it be soda, water. I think he did it with a couple of different liquids, and when you put power to it, it just starts eating away at it. And he saw how far it would go till it was just dead and would not, literally not even turn, like the computer, I think power would go to it. I think he went beyond what the power supply was capable of, like its AC adapter. I think he did it off of his power supply and showed that it was just going until there wasn't nothing left to corrode or cook. The part was completely gone. It was on a dead board, I'm assuming, a non-repairable one. Let's see if that is in. It looks like it. Funny that I have to check this other one. Is that one? It's just one mount, huh? One mount is all that hits. Amazing. Okay, so looking at the trackpad here, we have one button, one little surface mount, like tact switch, and I'm guessing that's the whole trackpad, left and right click. However, it doesn't make sense when on a PC you have left and right click. What does make sense is how that works. That is being clicked all the time, and maybe they have some type of accelerometer built into the board, and it detects whether it's, when it's clicked, if it's going left or right. I think, maybe. Some type of circuitry detecting that. I could be wrong in saying accelerometer. It could be something entirely different. Alright, let's hold that down and check the top. Do we have some? We do. We got clicky clicky. And the owner actually, he asked about this, like why the keys seem to be working fine. He brought it up to have it checked out, and whenever I had tested it, I think I did part of it on the stream. I don't know if I did the actual typing test, but some keys had already stopped functioning. Lucky, very lucky. Usually liquid makes it into the computer. Alright, we have that. Let's go ahead. Stick that down with the tape and get it ready to go in the computer. We're gonna do a slight teardown on this just to check everything else from what I saw in the original tear. I'm pretty sure I did this on stream. If not, I don't have which video it was. But if I did, I'm fairly certain I didn't tear this model down to nothing. We're actually going to get a different driver. Hard drive, the optical drive. Wi-Fi. We just brush this off with no problems. Let's find out. Get out of the way there. We don't want you plugging back in. And what are you? DC jack. Alright. 4 gigs of system memory. However, it seems as though they have some memory installed internally, which that's a good thing. Why would you want to be limited to one RAM slot with no option of more? Would that be 4 or 8? Probably 4 on board. Well, do we check it or not? Do we break that factory seal? It's never been lifted. Is the thermal paste dried up? don't have a lot here. It's well out of warranty, but we will check. At least do the justice of giving it a look-see. And our last screw, don't forget this one on the side of the fan if you're trying to pull the heatsink and fan assembly off. So there's the 4 for the heatsink. Not complete coverage. There was some nice air gaps there. I'm not going to say there's no tack left to it. I'll say it. It may, with pressure, stick to itself, but it's done and dry. Alright. Not like this is a high production machine in charge of rendering HD videos for YouTube or anything, but staying cool would, you know, at least be ideal. I'm going to go ahead and scrape very easy now that we're on the CPU. CPU GPU combo. Intel, you're great with what you've done with that. AMD as well. I'm hearing good things, a lot of good about newer AMD stuff, so my skeptical mind, I'm an Intel fanboy, but I may have to try out an AMD machine in the near future and see. I used to buy exclusively AMD myself, but switched over to Intel after building. Well, another main reason is I was at one point huge into the Hackintosh scene, and AMD was not friendly for getting almost a native install of OS X. You needed Intel in order to do that, so that was one reason that I built an Intel based machine. And after building it, I was just like blown away with how it performed, not only for OS X, but just with my Windows install and gaming in general. But AMD, I think you can Hackintosh just about any hardware these days. I think they might have found patches to get it to run. I'm not sure. I haven't done any of that for a long time. We'll do a video on it sometime. We'll be installing an ancient version of OS X though. Unless maybe I'll reschool myself on a more current version of OS X. I think the last one that I was still up on the process and current method out was doing the Tony Mac x86 method, and then using like multi-beast and unibeast, multi-beast, and I did that on, I'm not saying Ivy Bridge, an Ivy Bridge Intel chipset with an NVIDIA GTX 660. So that was a few years ago, like 2012, 2011 or 2012 when I built that computer. A little bit of tarnish. I'm going to put some new compound on there, and not a blob quite as big as they had. Sadly, we're not going to risk taking the fan apart. It's just melted tabs of plastic. I don't want to break those. It's a pain to put them back. Let's try. The heatsink looks fairly clean inside. Give me a moment. We're going to go charge up the air compressor. It is loud and obnoxious, so I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute up, and then you'll see when I get back. Much perfect. Much perfect. A little cleaner. We got that, just that surface layer of dust, then everything built up in there out. We had to blow it back and forth a few times to get it out. This is the only way to get it out. One of these two parts of the fan. Okay, let's see how good we did. Actually, I didn't know that folded. So yeah, fairly clean. Now we gotta hope we can get that back in. Alright. Alright, plug your fan back in, so you do like I normally do, and get it almost together, then have to come back and check. That is not fun. DC jack and our display. Let's get these plugged in and in place. How do you keep popping up out of there? Alright, we'll consider that good for now. Alright, Wi-Fi card installed. Let's go around the rest of the motherboard. And how many were there on the fan? 2? I'm going to say 2 on the fan. And give me 1 moment, people. 1 moment. Oh my goodness, Frank, you came back. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Huh? How you doing, man? Look at this. Can we show? Yeah, we can kind of show. Frank. Come here, buddy. How you doing? Huh? All right. Came back to visit, huh? Lunch is already over, pal. You wouldn't just show up to eat, would you? All right. Let's get the last couple for the motherboard. Get this. Did you get that info? You went and got the whole computer, right? Is that the computer? How old is that thing? Dang. Right? Maybe aliens built it years ago. That way it'll be like tech from today, but they built it in the past.
You think?
No, but it sounded good for like a minute. Is there a white arrow there? There is. So indeed one does go there. We just had a speaker cable or speaker connector covering it. Alright, and last one. And we should be able to start. Oh, this is dumb. Where does it go? We've got stickers. Not there, not there. Hard drives in that area. Optical drive. We did the 2 for our checking it out, huh? Right here. All right, let's put the hard drive back in. A few minutes to get this reassembled and do something else for the day. And let's throw the optical drive in. That's a through.
That fucking tape, $14.
We should get a square jar up here. We'll have that thing filled in no time.
You will.
No, that's you, man. Frank, I heard him. It's Frank, man. He influenced me all the time. That dog is a bad influence on everybody. Yeah, Frank, he did it. He did it. Frank did it. Alright, so you can't lean it back. You can set it close though. Normally you want to have your battery unplugged on these whenever. I don't think we'll get away with that either, but we'll try it. Normally battery unplugged, but I don't think there's the option without some going to great lengths with this one. I've got a pretty bent up ribbon cable. I'm wondering why I just didn't have a in there in a past life. We'll see if we can flatten it out any. Of course, flattening it, we don't want to rip it or have any kinks break. And we might be able to do trackpad, keyboard, then battery if we hold this.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, puppy. How are you doing today? You being a good boy?
Well, probably not.
Most days.
You're being good. Yes, you are. You sure you won't go out?
Oh, he won't.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you
See ya.
soon. Yep.
Alright. People were gone. They were just going to be here a minute. No, I don't see any need to say, hey, you're being broadcast live to the internet. We'll just mute it for a minute. But people that are going to be here for a bit, I do explain that usually. And then I unmute. If they don't agree, that's why I don't unmute for a long period of time. And we'll have a few minutes to cause another train wreck today. Where is their email? He said this is their email right here.
Yeah, that's her email.
pwp@gmail. I know there's something ahead of it. I just didn't say it.
Yeah.
PWP, or are you sure she didn't mean the same as that? But yeah, I think she meant that, and you just read it as that, possibly. I don't know though. We'll try both. We'll try both. I do that too, man. I write.
That's what it is. It's supposed to be T there instead of.
Okay.
I believe.
Alright, I'll try it. If it don't work, we'll try the other one. I do that all the time, man. It's called, what's it called? No, because on a keyboard, when you type, it's called a typo. What is that when is it a righto? When you're writing? That's what it is, right? A righto? Did you have a righto?
Take the picture with you.
We do have the correction tape. We just got another shipment of correction tape coming our way. Or not coming, it arrived. It's here. Alright, let's figure this out. And plug it in and see what is bird the word. Alright, I have a charge light. That's good news. Let's turn it on. We have our charge light. Did I not hook the power? No, it never left the motherboard. Or did it? No, it didn't.
Still don't have your track on this one.
I bet you I didn't plug it in. See? See what happens when you rush? So we have the charge light because the battery is plugged in. I just never plugged in the ribbon cable for the power switch. So let's go ahead and do that quick. I was all that fussing with the... I didn't want to... Wanted to fold that keyboard cable in nice. Luckily this is an easy one, not many screws. This could be a real old ThinkPad that had many different sizes. ThinkPad from back in the Pentium 2 days, those were a nightmare to tear apart. They're crazy amount of layered stuff they put in there. Different size and thread screws, like same size screws, just different thread counts. Yeah, if it was one of those, we would make, it would be a whole multi-hour episode just tearing the dang thing apart. Let's open this up and attempt to go across the back to get this last side loose. Okay, lift this easy, did we not? And we sure didn't. Forgot the ribbon cable for the power switch. And that's going in directly. So we can show you this kind of right there is that's our culprit. This actually even came unplugged from there. Let's plug that in. I just did bump that too, so I don't know if that was unplugged. Maybe I didn't notice it, or oh, you did turn on, didn't you? What a nightmare. We're gonna power you off. Let's do that. So this thing turned on in the middle of, we're gonna hold the button down and power it off.
Middle of putting it on here.
Yeah.
Get you?
Yeah, I want to plug the trackpad back in. Boy, that does not.
Anyway, that guy's screen's supposed to be on Monday.
The screen Monday? When's the tape getting here? Can't do the screen without the tape.
No travel, it said 4 days.
4 days? Okay.
So
Well,
they're still waiting for the package to be PS off.
right.
Not good.
Well, I don't know what we do here. What do we do here? We could reconnect. I don't like that, how that gets folded. There is plenty of room though, so let's go with it like that. We'll check all three. We got our switch, we have our trackpad, keyboard, everything else is plugged in. Let's snap this back together again, put the screws in, and let's start something else for a few minutes. Two, three. Four, 5, 6, and 7. 8. 9, 10. Alright. Got a lot of time. I did miss it, but once it happens, not the first time, and it will not be the last. Alright, let's check our charge light again. Plugging in, we get our charge light. When we turn it on, we should get a green power light or some other variation. Indeed, we get our green light, powers up with the switch. Perfect. Like, I didn't put anything on there. I just did that just because the factory stuff, the seal had never been broken on the screw that holds the heat spreader to the processor. It had never been broken, so that says it had never been changed unless somebody took time to lift that sticker, unscrew it, change it, and then re-stick the sticker. When I got there, it was just dry clumps of thermal paste, like it came off and broke apart, so I put new on. That's right, we powered this off abruptly, so it's going to recover itself.
16 labor.
The chat is open. Nobody's typing there. This is booting up. This thing is going to get kicked the heck out of the way, though. It is, it's starting up. I will fire up some type of typing test here. Word document, run through all the keys, do a couple key combinations. So that's one thing. I've gotten replacement keyboards for laptops before, but they were aftermarket, generically made.
This thing done now?
What? Ken? Yeah, go ahead, call them. They were so generically made, yes, you could type and do stuff, but when you started doing key combinations, it wouldn't register. I don't know if it was just that junk made that had like no rollover, like it couldn't understand multiple key combinations. Yes, that's the thing. You can get a junk enough made keyboard. Well, I don't see no desktop icons. That's really weird. Let's click show desktop icons. Ah, they do have some there. Okay. So let's fire up a new... What do we want? A new Word document. Make this our keyboard test. Open it up. Stuff this in here. We don't have a working keyboard for this model, but we do have keycaps for it if anybody loses keys. If anybody loses keys or like a key breaks loose for this model, we've got a whole keyboard worth of keys and keycaps. But the keyboard itself don't work. Yeah, just little things to save. Take up space in your brain. Gotta keep all that organized. It's like herding cats. All right. All right, all the main typing keys work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Alt F4 to close it. No, we don't want to save. We're going to delete it. All right. Keyboard key combinations work, so it will accept keys. Delete our keyboard test file that we just put on there.
Hey, Kenny's still in? Yeah, that's fine.
Running out of time. Let's get it set up for tomorrow. We'll have 2 of these to do. I have another thing to look at. I don't know if we're going to sit and fault find on the live stream now.
Gary? Yeah, this is Dave. I believe.
All right, mics are on. Mics are on. Don't tell them any of our secrets. what do we have? What are those? 2s? 2, 4, 6, 8. You know, that would look pretty cool doing it that way, but it's actually, it'll fall in either way. Do we do it like that? Let's see how these cables want to go. Yeah, so they want to be upside down. If we did do it, we would do it like that. It would be in the thing, so we can do it one of two ways. Showing that off or hiding it. Let's say we hide it. Alright.
Kenny, right there.
Is that him?
Well, hi there. I ever talked to your wife, mister? No, she said, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yes, I did. I'm in tomorrow morning.
I said go in family friendly mode.
I'm in there already. I didn't swear no.
Yeah, I know. No, I had it muted.
Oh, shit.
Alright, getting our SSD ready to go. It's in the stock. We have a 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch adapter plate get to go to the 3.5 inch Optiplex branded, funny enough. Hard drive caddy. Let's plug in our SATA cable. SATA data, SATA power, and throw this thing back together. Everything else should be good. Is this? Yeah, this is the one that did get cleaned out. We have a couple. We got a couple of these at the same time, and they make. If you just want a computer to sit and forget, these are a great option for it. There's a few generations of them. This is one of the first ones. I would not get one of the first gen ones if you have a computer that's going to be like high production, like doing a lot of different things all the time. But a set and forget office machine that you use on occasion, yes, perfect for that. All right, let's see. Some of these can be a pain to set down. What it is the plastic spreads at this point and this point. Some of them, like when you jump from the 3-digit multiplexes to the 4 of this case series, you got to just press a little because the heatsink changed a little. Well, actually, from the 3 to the 4, you won't have this. You'll have a different style one. But in some of them, it's spread out because it was never put in right, so it won't actually latch down. You just press in here and here, and it should pop right down in place, and then your little side latches will click into place. If you don't do that, don't have it in place properly, when you go to put this on your cover, it's not going to sit flat right here. Right here you will have a hump in it, and you'll be able to actually see in. Whereas you can tell this one was not put on at one time right, but it actually does sit down pretty straight. We just have that one little spot where it's up. Or often try and flex it in there, that area, to get it set down, make it act a little more normal. For the next few moments, let's see if we can do something with this. Did you? You did. Boy, you got multiple cables plugged in. Yeah, you're using my audio cable from a completely different cable. You ain't borrowing my audio cable. What are you thinking? No, you can't have my audio cable. Get out of here. Alright, let's throw this up on the KVM quick. We're going to see if we can get something done with it for the rest of the day. Anybody that hasn't tried the new version of Windows 1909, go out, download Windows Media Creation Tool, and get your 16 gig, I think, is what it requires. If you want to do it all on drive, if you're going to do it between the computer and the drive, I think you can get away with an 8 gig. Download version 1909 of Windows. It is looking good. Getting a little more refined. I like whatever changes they made to how it looks. I'm really digging that. It's kind of like a slight, seems like a slight inspiration mixed in with the light. What's up, man?
Did you call this guy?
You've called him. He's in the hospital, remember?
Oh, that's right. That's an order guy.
Yes, he's in the hospital. You've talked to his... You talked to his wife or whatever? Alright, we're going to fire this up onto the KVM quick. Let's find our installer. 1909 is this one. We'll go to a back USB. You don't have to always use your back USB. I generally try to, though, whenever running install media. But you definitely don't have to. Alright, and we're going to be on channel 1 for the KVM. Actually, I can probably unplug that. Oh, what a disappointment. There you is. Here you are. Alright, we're going to hook into Streamlabs quick and see. Some of these have issues, some of them do not. What is our card? Is it? It is DisplayPort, unfortunately. So we got to go with that. There we go. It is connected to... Oh yes, let's get the repair screen up and get this thing to boot. We're going to pull our USB keyboard just because this wireless keyboard is not liked by every computer. Some it works great with, others it don't. Do this stuff enough and you'll start seeing that pattern that some computers it's completely fine with your wireless keyboard if you have a wireless keyboard and mouse that you jump around from computer to computer for repairs. And other computers just no way, no how. They won't like it for booting, but you might get lucky and get it too. You stole my power cord too, man. You stole my power cord too. I ain't gonna unplug yours though. I'll just use your power cord. Alright, let's see.
Hey, do you need that? You don't need this.
We are muted. Have a good evening. Oh, I talked and it was muted. Imagine that. Oh my God.